that power, I will. We will. I will. I must protect. Destroy.
Alright, what's up people? This is Frazzleberry making a Star Ocean review. Yeah, so Star Ocean The Last Hope. It's a few years old now. I got it around Christmas time. It's a 3-disc RPG. Fairly basic. Yeah, so I put about 63 hours into it. That's not even close to, like, I did, I'm not gonna say the bare minimal, but it was close to it. Like, there's, seriously, this entire game, in order to get all the achievements, it's like over 300 hours, I think. Yeah, it's around there. Like, for example, there's achievements for doing every quest, there's achievements for doing, making every single item, finding every single item. It's pretty steep when it comes to achievement difficulty. I decided not to go near that for now. There's like 3 or 4 difficulties. I started on the basic because that's where you start. It unlocks the other ones. So, yeah, for the most part it wasn't a difficult game. I guess I'll start there. I mean, I got to around the end of disc 2 before I died for the first time. That was about 30 hours in, I think. But I don't know, it wasn't that the bosses were hard. I just maybe grinded a little too much, maybe. But once I got to disc 2, yeah, around near the end of disc 2, I got tired of killing every mob, and I'd just run through the levels, and once I got to the final save point in the dungeon, I would basically just grind for like an hour, then go kill the boss. But yeah, so I guess I'll start with my dislikes. Battle system. I gotta hate the battle system. I'm not gonna say it's bad, but it didn't really keep me entertained. You basically okay, you run around the map, you see an enemy, it triggers a battle if you run into it. It's basically like a 3D arena. You can run around everywhere in it. And then you have basically your attack button. You have your dash button. And then you have your menu button. But then for your triggers, you have your... Basically, you can equip skills that you earn by leveling up. You get a new one like probably every 6-7 levels maybe. And then you're able to place those onto your triggers, which are like hotkeys, I guess. Then you can chain those by, like, let's say for L, like for just hitting the left trigger once will do like Rising Blade, and then if you put in slot 2 like Stampede Rush, it'll do that after you do the first combo. But that doesn't really go deeper. Basically, it just allows you to do more damage. But I can't really touch too much on there because the AI wasn't very useful. What else? Yeah, that's about it. Status elements were okay, nothing cool. It's hard to compare an RPG like this to like Final Fantasy because I've been replaying through both of them recently. So, on one side I got Final Fantasy, which has, in my opinion, like perfect leveling, perfect amount of drop loot, like everything's. It's not perfect, but it's near perfect in Final Fantasy. In this game, you like, okay, there's a quest where you have to like, well, pretty much every quest is like this. Pretty much you just grind enemies, get the items you need, and go synthesize stuff. But it's idiotic. Like, Star Ocean is definitely the biggest grinding game out there. Is what I'm trying to get through. Like, just the whole drop loot. Like every drop in the game is pretty much rare. And there's just no way to get around that. But yeah, so the AI, like I was saying before, is pretty bad too. I was playing Dragon Age like a month ago maybe, and it was good. Like, you could basically set up commands. Like, if main character's health is below 50%, heal. Like, you can set up these very strict commands that the AI would follow. But I keep playing these RPGs recently, like this one. I just played through another one. Oh, White Knight Chronicles. And like, you want them to heal, like specifically heal you and buff you and support you. But sometimes they won't. They'll just sit there and start casting offensive magic. And you can tell the AI to either be basically offensive without using MP, offensive with using MP, stay away from danger, which in my opinion is probably the only way to get them to heal properly. It works maybe like 70% of the time. They'll just sit back and buff and heal, which is good. But most of the time they'll just sit there casting spells when everybody's around like 20%, 30% health and stuff. Gets kind of annoying. Offensively they play pretty smart, but it's not really hard for them to just shoot off spells. But yeah, my biggest complaint definitely would have to be the gameplay. Story's pretty interesting. I wouldn't really say it's like anything super unique, but it's pretty good. The voice acting was okay, nothing good or really memorable. The whole like the world exploration, pretty basic. You go to like 5 planets maybe around there. You have 5 or 6, and basically each planet has like well, for the most part, like 2 or like 3 or 4 of the planets you go to have like 3 towns in them, 2 to 3 towns. Each town has different items. There is no way to teleport to the later towns, so you have to actually run there. Kind of a bummer, but it's really only there if you're the like go for all the achievements and completion it. But if you're gonna do just like a normal playthrough, you wouldn't really need to run back to the 3rd town, which takes 5 minutes to get there, like 10 times in order to complete a quest. But yeah, world exploration's pretty basic. From your spaceship, you just click which planet you want to go to. Later, they do open up a portal system that allows you to teleport to each town individually. That's pretty nice. I wish they opened that up on Disc 3 immediately. Like, basically, when you get to Disc 3, it gives you access to 2 planets that you can't access on any of the other discs. So, it's kind of bullshit. Oh yeah, I should mention that you have to disc swap whenever you're going to the older planets. I think Disc 2 can access them all except for the last 2, but Disc 3 can only access the last 2 planets. So it's kind of annoying, but whatever. Yeah, so biggest complaint that my biggest like though, that's a very tough question, I guess, because it didn't really bring anything new to the genre. It didn't really bring anything that caught my eye. I don't know, I guess this is really probably one of the only sci-fi RPGs I've played on the 360 this gen. I'm thinking that. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, I guess it is a pretty good space sci-fi RPG. It's definitely worth the $20 that I bought it for. But it's a 3-disc RPG. It's gonna take you over 50 hours. I would have to recommend it if you're into RPGs. It's not an RPG that you should buy for like, hey, I want to get into RPG. Should I buy this? No, you should not buy this. If you were gonna get into RPG, I would have to recommend Lost Odyssey or Blue Dragon. Those 2 are really balanced. They're really good. Their stories are pretty good. Lost Odyssey is really good, but Blue Dragon's more on the kiddie side. I don't want to say super kiddie side because it deals with some pretty deep stuff like suicide and stuff like that. But it's basically like we're the good guys, you're the bad guy, you gotta die, but you'll stop us a couple times throughout the story and stuff like that. But those 2, they're both made by Mistwalker and they're both excellent RPGs. Not just on the 360, but just in general, they're great. Yeah, so Star Ocean: The Last Hope. Don't even rent it because I don't think you can rent 3-disc RPGs. So buy it. You'll find it anywhere from $15 to $30 at GameStop. So those are my thoughts on Star Ocean. It was okay, but in the end, it didn't like draw me to it. I didn't play it every day. I played it for a few days, took a month or two away from it, then got back to it. Those are my thoughts. Goodbye.